Well, I'll give you how big a deal it was. How many coaches have ever been fined in the NFL? One. How much they fined him? You know, and for a coach or even a player, that's like one of the biggest fines ever. It was like 300,000 or something like that. It was a huge fine. How much did the team get fined? They got fined millions. That's how big a deal it was. So why would anybody not think it's a big deal? Because they washed it under the rug. They didn't want anybody looking into it. And if they really, the media had really been looking into it, they just saw exactly what it was. They weren't just videotaping, and the Packers were the team that caught them. See, that's the thing that people don't seem to realize. See, the Packers security at their stadium now is so tough and so good. I mean, last time I went to a game, I thought I was going to meet Obama. It was that security is that high at the Packer Stadium. That's why you don't see people acting a fool, running around, doing all that stuff. They got tough security, and they caught them videotaping. Now, if you videotape hand signs or something like that, because you have all the routes and all the plays videotaped, everybody has to switch videotape. When you decide to play another team, they send you their videotape, you send them their videotape, and that's how you get video. I mean, in the NFL, they've been doing it for years and years. Just like it's always there, you can go upload it anytime, any game, anything. That's the way film works. Now, when you go to the field with a guy who has another camera and he's videotaping hand signals, which is what the defense uses, because they don't get to use the fancy quarterback things that the quarterbacks get to use. Why? And why did that rule come in that they get to use those headsets and the defense doesn't get to use the headsets? See, nobody ever thought of that. They never thought to ask that question. Why don't the defense, you have a linebacker, you can just yell to him or anybody on the field, yell to him and tell him what the play is. So the defense doesn't have to do that. They have to have, your defense has to use hand signals. And on most defenses, they actually have two guys that might give you a call. And you're supposed to know which one gives you the call. And some teams give have a guy do a secondary call and have another guy do the lineman call just to mix people up. Because they don't want you stealing hand signals. Now, everybody on each sideline steals hand signals. You'll look over there and goes, oh, they're running this. But that's not the same as knowing what it is when you see it immediately. That's not the same. Like when we were playing Philly, when I first got in the league, the first thing that they picked up on film was every time Randall grabbed his face mask like this and tugged it, that meant he was going to run a 15-yard fade to the left every time. So when we caught that signal, man, Rod Woodson I think he had 2 picks that game. So if you can do that as a team, you have one guy looking or reading lips or doing whatever. Why do you think all those coaches all the time, they're always putting those things up above their face? They don't want anybody, they don't know how well film you're watching. They don't want anybody reading their lips. So all of a sudden you'll see a team and they'll have the guy will be talking. He'll put the thing up over his face so nobody will see what he's saying. 2 reasons. He doesn't want the echo and he doesn't want you to read his lips. So if you're another team and you are actually know what that guy's play is or know what the call is ahead of time, you will call the perfect play or the perfect defense every time. Now I'll give you for instance. Patriots in all their games, there were never blowouts in the playoff, in the Super Bowl. And every time it looked like the other team was about to either score or they needed a play to keep their drive going. What happened? They seemed to call the perfect play every time. Every time. I want anybody to go in there and I want you to look at the games and you go, wow, that guy was so open. How did that guy get so open? The perfect play every time in that game. And they haven't been able to duplicate that type of brain power. What's changed there? Nothing. They've even gotten better as a team, physically and speed-wise and everything. Why don't they go back to the Super Bowl? They have the same coach. They got the same owner. They got the same, what they talk about, the same winning feel and hard work. They got that. Ocho Cinco, one little person, is not going to change the way that team feels about how its success. So what is the big difference between that and now? and that is they've been cheating. And I had much respect for Belichick. I did. But after they got caught cheating, I decided, hey, look, I got to put an asterisk by his name because I cannot say that he didn't win those games without using it. And he's never, and nobody's ever talked about it. Nobody's ever dug into it. Nobody's tried to see or anything like that. So, baseball, they have their, what do you call them, doubters or people that want to go out and look for this type of stuff. Well, why hasn't anybody dug into those 3 Super Bowls they won? Because the NFL doesn't want you to. Because that is a dirty little secret. How bad was it? It was bad enough for them to fine the owner and the head coach.